The voice of radio takes our imagination to faraway places, transforms our mood with music, and brings us news and information. And radio does it without wires, without borders, almost magically, on electromagnetic waves transmitted invisibly through the air. For more than 100 years, radio has saved lives at sea, gathered families together,
Kid, everything shipshape.
admitted sports fans to their favorite game, warned of impending danger, sent the truth into captive nations, and hope to the oppressed. Since 1942, Voice of America has broadcast the truth to millions trapped in fascist, communist, and other totalitarian regimes. Known to many as the official voice of the United States, the Voice of America is a grand testimony to radio with its miraculous power that opens hearts, leaps all boundaries, and doesn't turn back at closed doors.
Yes, this is the Voice of America.
And the voice is still heard.
A building located in a farm field just north of Cincinnati became home to some of America's most important technological innovations and political history. This is a story and a building worth preserving. Until wireless, people received news and entertainment largely via the written word. And then, shortly into the 20th century, crystal sets, shortwave and AM radio connected people to the rest of the world in real time. Greater Cincinnati has played a significant role in the history of wireless communication due to the vision, creativity, and ingenuity of its people. People like Powell Crosley Jr., whose company built low-cost radios for the common man and created increasingly more powerful radio stations with innovative programming. By the end of the 30s, Cincinnati radio was originating over 30 hours of programming for the national networks, equaling New York, LA, and Chicago in program development. Cincinnati's roster of radio talent also rivaled the national radio networks, and many successful stars launched their careers on Cincinnati's airwaves. At that time, most AM radios had one or two shortwave bands that allowed radio signals to be heard over a very long distance. However, only 13 shortwave stations operated in the United States. By comparison, Germany had 68 shortwave stations, and Japan broadcast from 42. As Germany and Japan waged war in Europe and Asia, they used shortwave to blast their relentless message of racism, arrogance, and hate. With the fall of France to the Nazis in 1940, American officials realized that a blitzkrieg of misinformation was as effective as tanks in conquering a country. When America was attacked at Pearl Harbor, correcting the U.S. shortwave deficiency became an urgent strategic priority, articulated by FDR himself. Roosevelt created the Office of War Information, which included official American broadcast communication at home and overseas. The most powerful shortwave station in the Western Hemisphere, Crosley Broadcasting's WLWO, O for overseas, began broadcasting in German, Spanish, and Italian. WLWO broadcasters like Austrian-born Robert Bauer, who had narrowly escaped the Nazis, gave the Third Reich a dose of its own medicine when he precisely mimicked the Führer's speech. The effectiveness of these broadcasts was confirmed when the Führer himself referred to those Cincinnati liars. Next, President Roosevelt summoned the bigwigs of broadcasting to Washington for an emergency meeting to see who could build a super shortwave transmitter in the shortest amount of time. Cincinnati's Crosley Broadcasting was there because of its expertise with superpowered transmitters and shortwave broadcasts. During a break in the meeting, Crosley President James Shouse called Chief Engineer R.J. Rockwell and asked if he could build 200-kilowatt shortwave transmitters. Rockwell's response? I don't know, but I will sure give it a hell of a try.
Shouse came back with a very simple one-page contract. We were to construct 6 200,000-watt transmitters, shortwave, 24 high-efficiency antennas to reach Europe, North, Central, South Africa, and East and Western South America. This is an unusual situation because 200,000-watt transmitters had never been built before.
While the Bethany station was under construction, WLWO and other American-based shortwave stations carried the first words of the new Voice of America.
Unsere Stimmen kommen zu Ihnen aus New York.
This is a voice speaking from America.
From the beginning, they rejected the idea of propaganda, believing that truthful information coming from the United States, with unmistakable American sincerity, would be most effective to the American effort. It was the Voice of America broadcasting the truth into the heart of occupied Europe that helped hasten the end of World War II. Technology, developed by the military during the war, burst onto the American scene afterward. Television took wireless communications to a whole new level. Cincinnati retained its stature as a broadcasting powerhouse, home to 3 major media conglomerates: Crosley Avco, Taft Communications, and Scripps Howard. While the post-war years saw TV going into more homes in the States, radio broadcasting from VOA was going into more homes around the world, in more languages than ever before, reaching a high of 47 different languages. Through the ensuing decades, with the Iron and Bamboo Curtains, through the Korean conflict and the war in Vietnam, Voice of America continued to broadcast news and words of encouragement from the Bethany Relay Station to millions around the world. Tyrannical rulers, dictators, and despots did not want the Voice of America message heard. Still, many risked their livelihoods, homes, even their lives, to listen to VOA broadcasts. VOA's ability to communicate ideas, ideals, and truthful information remains an important part of American foreign policy. Though the fight is still waged with words of truth, VOA now delivers them via FM, satellite, and cellular. The federal government decommissioned VOA's Bethany station. Bethany beamed its final broadcast on November 14, 1995. The landmark towers that sent the truth around the world for over 5 decades came down soon after. Yet the building still stands as a testimony to the engineers and managers of Bethany Station who accomplished something that had never been done before, in a span of time no one thought possible, at a pivotal moment in world history. VOA's Bethany Station is a tale of great engineering prowess and determination, set against the human drama of totalitarianism versus freedom. This is a thrilling story, worth preserving. An adventure rich with patriotism, geopolitical intrigue, wartime strategy, incredible feats of engineering, and good old Yankee ingenuity. Combine the legacy of Voice of America with Gray's history of wireless collection and the compelling heritage of Cincinnati broadcasting, and you have a wealth of pioneering technology, innovative entertainment, and other material that must live on. It is the story of America's voice.
Lend me your ear.